do the opening because J5 is my hero. All right, we are up on Leighton's Loft here now, too.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Well, I'm glad there's a podcast, not a video cast or podcast, but people can't really see what's in the background. But Lou, why don't you explain to the folks that are listening through either, Spotify or Apple?
Oh, yeah. What's up right now?
Yeah, in the background screen.
On mine or what we've got in the shared screen here?
What you see right now in the main screen.
I don't know the origin of this, so you guys are going to have to help me out. We've got J5 here, a great picture of J5. So you got to go to the Facebook page of Leighton's Loft or Vintage Breaks YouTube or Just Collect and take a look at the video side of this podcast because we've got J5 holding a belt, WWE belt, and he looks so majestic in front of the Vintage Breaks logo. You look like a champion. You have it. J5.
The it factor, Lou. It's hard. It took years of practice to get this look.
You have the it factor, and your hair was excellent that day, and the beard was just on point. It was great.
Yeah, no, it took a lot of work, about 10 seconds, just to make sure I look in the right angle. I told Doug to get my good side. But what really helps is that the belt is back with me. And for those who don't know, we have a WWE belt that goes around to VB North, VB South, or VB West. Whoever pulls a card raw that's over $1,000 in retail, which we could easily find on eBay, automatically gets that belt. And so I happened to pull a beautiful redemption card that I thought was not going to be worth that much, but apparently it is. It was over a couple $1,000 in retail, and I got the belt. This was last week.
Chris says you're going to be coughing up that belt to Gilmore at some point this week.
That's what he's hoping for, yes. But and I forgot to admit, Leighton Sheldon also has a chance to pull that belt, which I think he's on right now.
He's at the belt.
Has Leighton held the belt yet?
I had it for like a few minutes, like 30 seconds.
That is true. He pulled a Zion or John Morant. No, he pulled a Ja.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
But yeah, that's it for me. I just wanted to explain to people about that picture. I will be printing 8x10 photos of that copy, and I will be autographing or signing. I'll be signing those pictures for giveaways.
I want the one of whatever it is. Whether
Yeah, I'll print out 25, and you'll have one of 25.
Excellent.
Done deal. All right.
I want 7 for sure.
You want 7?
725. Yeah.
Like J5, Mickey,
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Doug, you can take it.
All right.
Tug in. And our guest today, Leighton, we were hoping he'd take this on and take that picture. We'd like a version of that. That'd be great.
Yeah, it would be.
All right, welcome to Leighton's Loft today. How are we doing?
We already started the show.
Oh, we're on. Yeah, we already started.
I was waiting for the music.
Oh, you missed it.
All right, that's a bummer. I should get out my Three's Company music. I did it yesterday. I did a little dance.
Again, because I can play it again.
No, it's all good. It threw me off my timing. Timing's everything in sports.
Okay.
So welcome to Leighton's Loft, our weekly podcast here. You can find us every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time through our Facebook Live. And what's really great is, of course, courtesy of Lou, you can find us in the podcast universe.
Yes.
Just a few days after, and sometimes often sooner. And so, Lou, I didn't know if you had a chance to check. What number show are we at today?
Oh, I got to check this out.
Well, check it out when you have a chance. So while you're doing that, Lou, wanted to wish those who've served our country proudly a happy Veterans Day. Thank you. And as a very, very small token of our appreciation, anyone who's on during Leighton's Loft today, if you are a veteran, like I said, thank you for your service. My sister's husband proudly serves our country now in the Army. And so it'd be our pleasure here at Vintage Breaks to give everyone a nominal small token of appreciation and give you folks a $10 break credit. All you have to do is just email sam@vintagebreaks.com And we do appreciate everyone joining us today.
We're on episode 21 today.
That's amazing. So we can drink.
We can drink. That's
Leighton's Loft can go. We can go out tonight and drink. Now, there's nowhere to go, of course, as bars are closing and, times and restaurants are being shrunk at already difficult situations for restaurants and bars.
In Massachusetts, we're under curfew up here. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't know that, Lou. What's the curfew?
We get a 10 o'clock curfew here. All restaurants and stuff have to be closed down by 9:30 so everyone can get home.
Well, seems like we'd have to be done with our drinking at Leighton's Loft by 10 o'clock, but that's fantastic. We are now of legal age, folks, for those just tuning in, whether it be live or afterwards. Leighton's Loft, it's on its 21st episode. Fantastic job getting us to this point, Lou. I feel like in the beginning, didn't really know what we talk about, and that's the beauty of every show. You never know what direction we're going to go in. We do have a fantastic guest at the top of the hour today joining us, a gentleman by the name of Tim Carrol of Tim Carrol Art. And if you check out Lou's background today, as well as some of that amazing artwork you see on the screen as Lou's going through it, these pieces of artwork are all made out of baseball cards, football cards, etc. Cards that Tim cuts up. So we're going to hear all about that process. I'd love to know how he gets started. Like, for example, I see the NT, National Treasure Zion. Like, I want to know, do you have to cut up cards in Tim's mind just from that issue?
Oh, no.
Like if you're doing 06s, do you have to cut up 06s? I mean, that's going to be very costly.
No, you can't do that. Right?
I didn't think so. Well, listen, it's not my rules. It's it's his show.
But what's in the garbage pail, kids?
Well, I wanted to do the atom bomb. That was one of the ones I'm crushed about. I wanted to, but at the end of the day, I respect him and his work. So it's more of like you're trying to find that next one that would make you real happy. Because remember, Lou, it's not about, hey, what's the card worth? It's about choosing one of your favorite cards that means something to you, that elicits some passion, some emotion, but also is going to be able to present well on your wall, right? Like not every card you see there may be for your dining room at home. Like if I try to hang up Mookie Wilson 87 Topps card, that I see that you just scrolled by in my home, my wife would just take that shit down, in 2 seconds and say, first of all, you're not a Mets fan. I've never heard you mention Mookie Wilson, and this thing doesn't belong in my home. If you want to put it in the loft.
Come on, this has to be reasonable art, though. Even people who aren't collectors have to look at this and go, oh, wow, that's pretty good.
Sure. And my wife would say that. If you'd like to hang it, it goes in your loft. Absolutely.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's all good. Nothing to be sorry about. So good afternoon, Chris and Dave, Jason, Jim, Ken, Ernie, Nick, and the rest of the gang. Thanks for joining us here on Leighton's Loft, our weekly podcast, every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Usually run for about an hour. Some shows we have guests when they usually join us. It's about 5 o'clock, which will be the case today with Tim Carrol. And for those of you just joining us, we've not announced our prizes yet. And for those new to our community, we often give away 7 prizes in honor of Mickey Mantle. Each and every time on our podcast. This week is no different. We're going to be giving away 7 prizes, including Lou, headlined by a $100 break credit.
Nice.
To vintagebreaks.com. I figured step it up, right? It's holiday season. We got Tim on the show. We want to make a good impression. And so, folks, if you win that $100 break credit, I implore you, spend it before December 6th. That's when our big event ends. So you'll not only get your breaks, but you're going to get in on thousands of dollars of promos. All the details are at event.vintagebreaks.com. So that's going to be first place today. Second place is going to be a BAM spot. For those of you unfamiliar, that is a $3,500 Breakamaniacs bonus promotion spot. And you'll have your chance on December 6th to win a $3,500 break credit to Vintage Breaks. By the way, folks, you cannot buy yourself a spot in this. We give them away in promotions, trivia questions, bounties, all sorts of places, including on the Loft. That's second place today. Third place, I figured this was perfect, Lou. We're going to be giving away a 1956 Topps set break spot because that card behind you, really the art behind you, is in honor of that 1956 Topps Jackie Robinson. I thought it was perfect to give away a spot in our 1956 Topps baseball set break. So that'll be third place. Fourth place is a 1979 Topps hockey set break spot. And then the last 3 prizes will be a 1974 Topps baseball set break spot.
Very nice. I think I'm working on a prize for us to give away. And I'm wondering if people would be interested.
Talk to me, Lou.
I don't know if everyone's known, but Nolan Ryan, since retired, has been into Nolan Ryan beef. He's been making beef. He's been a rancher.
I didn't know that.
And they just Nolan Ryan beef was available in Kroger's and a lot of stores down south, but not nationally distributed.
Excuse me.
He opened a retail store called Good Stocks, and now you can order online for Good Stocks and get some of the Nolan Ryan beef. But he's giving away right now the signed barbecue cookbooks signed by Nolan Ryan.
That's fantastic.
I'm trying to see if I can run one down. Do you think the people here would want one as a prize?
I mean, I figure I'm a pretty good litmus test. I think that's pretty cool. Great coffee table book.
Yeah, I thought it'd be cool.
Yeah, I love it, Lou. If you can track one down, I think that's great. I dig it.
Yep. I got some phone calls in.
Awesome. So another thing that I wanted to talk about today was a particular basketball project that I'm be taking on myself.
Ooh.
So I have a Michael Jordan signed ball, UDA authenticated, and I decided I'm going to go out and get my top 5 living 5 to get signed. Michael's already on there. By the way, Michael would have been the most impossible. Michael would not sign anymore, does not sign. The only way he signs is through Upper Deck.
Yep.
So my intention, Lou, is that I'm going to add 4 more people to my Michael Jordan basketball. I'm going to document it on social media. I'm going to show everyone the start, which is the Jordan ball, when I go into the office tomorrow. And then these are the 4 I've come up with. Remember, they have to be living. So, you can argue, but it's not about best of all time. It's best with what I have to work with, which, to be fair, is excellent.
I.e. people who are still living.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So next up, I figure at the center position, they could argue Russell and Jabbar. They both made my squad, but I'm putting Russell at the center position. I'm putting Jabbar at the forward position. I'm also putting Bird at the forward, and I'm putting the logo Jerry West at guard with Michael. So those are my 5 people, and I'm going to try to get, because obviously it's going to change over time. But I've seen a few of these at auction, depending on when folks started them.
Yeah.
Oftentimes Michael was the focus, but I haven't seen too many. And so because I have a connection, I think I can get Bird. I think I can get West. I think I can get Jabbar. I don't know if I can get Russell, but there's an outside chance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for it. So I was curious, what does everyone think of my 5 being, once again, that Michael's already on it?
Well, if Isaiah Thomas is in the audience, he'd disagree with you.
That's true. Thankfully, Isaiah is not here today. For those hoopsters out there, I know Melch is here. What does everyone think about my choices?
I like it. There'll be about a 10-second delay.
Magic just missed my squad.
Yeah, that's a tough cut, huh?
Yeah, I'm not going to do a 6-man on my ball, Dougie. It kind of ruins it for me. Basketball is 5 guys on the court. I want 5 guys on the – wow. I have a rare appearance from Mr. Ryan Friedman from Auction Report. Fantastic place to get your hobby news, but not a fantastic place apparently to get your basketball knowledge from because he's not agreeing. Interesting. Nah, I'm not getting LeBron on there. Nah. And not that I have any problem with him, but that'll be for like the next ball.
If there were a 6-man, it'd be Kevin McHale, wouldn't it?
I mean, I would just focus on whoever just missed the squad. Ryan, I'm curious what you think. You think that I should? He said LeBron. I'm not getting LeBron on the ball. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little more old school than that. I don't have a problem with him.
And he's a great.
No, Doctor just missed. Doctor just missed for me. It was really like Doc and then Magic. But the thing is, there's only 5. Ryan, what do you think?
Benson says, figured your list would be Bird, McHale, Kuzi, Russell, and Tatum.
No, come on. I have some sensibility. Not a lot, but some sensibility.
It's funny. I just saw an article today, as a matter of fact, about Larry Bird's greatest trash talk. And the headline of the article was what Dominique Wilkins told us.
Really?
Bird said to him, yeah.
What's up, Holmes?
Why you guarding me, homie?
Oh, yeah, why you guarding me, homie? That's fantastic. I'm sorry to hear that, Brandon. I hope you and your family get well very soon.
Yeah, we hope so too. Yeah.
Yeah, KG wasn't going to make my list, but great player.
Minute Bowl? No,
not going to make it. But yeah, I think, the doctors on the outside looking in. LeBron was already – I just was going to save that for the next ball.
Do a bench for the next 5, yeah.
All right, so the next thing I want to talk about, it's kind of cool. Figure this is going to certainly stir the pot a little bit here.
Yeah, Ben asked. That's what I thought. You're doing this by position, right? You're putting a team together as opposed to.
Yeah, well, first of all, to be fair, it's not. It's I'm trying to put a team together.
Mhm.
I know it's a little ridiculous. I put Jabbar at forward, but like I'm not going to put Jabbar at guard.
Yep.
Right. So like Michael's already at guard. Wes is at the guard. I'm not going to argue who's going to play the point, who's going to play the two. I'm not going to get like so technical, right? I'm putting Russell at center because I just feel like he's a true center. He's a defensive, mastermind.
Yep.
I'm going to put Jabbar. I'm a Bird fan, so you can tell me that Doc should be there over Bird, but like I grew up with Larry Legend. And some might even say, Lou, like Larry's still fine over Dr. J. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, no, Bird's got to be on there.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Still tough having Bird on and Magic off, but
well, it's not tough for me.
you have a thing for Magic, I see.
No, I mean, I'm just saying that, like, for me, I felt pretty good about going through the list. No, listen, Big O was great. He didn't make over Michael and West. That's the problem.
Yep.
So it's not like that West made it over Russell at center. That's not how I did it. Yeah, I hope Rick Barry isn't watching. Be very disappointed. All right, so what I want to talk about next is something that our friend Eddie brought up, actually E Squared, on our Vintage Breaks buy-sell trade group. I'm going to kind of read it verbatim, and then kind of, we'll take it from there.
Yep.
So, and please, this is all meant to bring up some fun hobby discussion, to give some context and perspective before our good friend Tim Carrol joins us in about 15 minutes. Shout out to Gilmore for hooking that up. I'm glad he decided to give you the email, a little bit ahead of time, even though I was a little bit worried when he was going to loop in with the email. He has his own style,
Yeah, we get it done. No big
Shaq Daddy's great, but I'm not putting in Shaq Daddy over Russell and Kareem. I'm just not doing it. And I figured, Lou, because I already have, and I'm not saying power forward and Bird's a small forward, but I wasn't going to put Jabbar at the power forward and then also put another monster, like a center type guy at the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but well, you went with Russell in the middle because of his defensive prowess.
Yes.
But he'd be a better wingman than he'd be better on the wing than.
Well, so this is what would be great. We could discuss this for for eternity.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna call my shot. No, this would be a PC piece, Connor. This is for my personal collection.
What if you put Larry at guard? And
you could definitely do that.
And then brought Dr. J in.
So you're basically saying drop the logo, drop Jerry West.
Drop Jerry West, yeah. Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I don't
know if Jerry West is listening. We're working on a deal with Jerry West to try to do a pack break. I got to be honest with you, Lou. I'm not that comfortable with this publicly. Privately, we can discuss this over beers.
See, this is the kind of information I need.
You know what I mean? Like, I just got to be honest with you. I got to tell you what's going on. So Nick Gable saying he picked Shaq Daddy over Bird. Here's the thing. If Shaq Daddy was sitting right on my couch here at the Loft, I would say, Shaq, you're on the team, baby.
Over Bird? No,
of course not. Are you kidding me? There's no way I would say that. Get the fuck out of here. No, that's what would be great. You gotta have your passion.
Yep.
So anyway, folks, this is what Eddie was shared in our Vintage Breaks group earlier today. And once again, this is all coming from a place of, we're trying to understand better how does everyone buy and sell, because I've seen this a little bit more, and I appreciate that folks are recognizing this both as a collector, a dealer, it doesn't matter. It is so much fucking more fun to buy than sell. And in fact, selling, depending on what platform you're selling, is nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know necessarily what your final price will be if you're going to be selling it at auction. So my advice is, before I rattle off what Eddie's going to say, is just think about your role in your little collecting universe, because it's real easy to buy, man.
Yeah.
You could go on eBay tonight, go on a bender, right, with Leighton's Loft, which is 21, so we can legally drink with you tonight. And you could spend thousands on eBay. But if you want to go sell thousands of dollars on eBay, and I'm not saying the same stuff, it's just different.
Yep.
So listen to what Eddie has to say. All right. Why is it when you have something priced well, and I don't think he's referring to, by the way, like a Vintage Breaks buy-sell trade group. I think he's referring to people on Facebook, people on message boards,
right?
All sorts of different collecting platforms, okay? So Eddie asks, why is it when you have something priced well, people try to lowball and always say, that's eBay prices? My thought is, if you're trying to flip something and make a $10 or more profit, then you made a profit. I try to sell a bit under comps, at least to let someone make a little money, also if they're flipping. Most people hit you with, I'm a dealer, so I can't pay you that much. But turn around and sell something for double what they paid. His last line's kind of funny. Card game is like a drug. The drug game, excuse me, laugh out loud. We'll let Eddie comment about that for himself. I'm going to comment on everything else. In general, and I wanted to comment and bring up, I think it was Brad and Arnie. So Arnie, which I thought nailed it, says, I try to offer 10 to 15% off plus the buyer pays shipping. I take the active lowest available online price and deduct those fees. I'd pay the eBay fees to make it a win-win for all, to each their own. And I think that was very, very, very well put by Arnie. Brad H goes on to say, not everyone is like that. There are some good people out there to deal with that understand the market and that everyone wants to make something but not get ripped off. Just focus on dealing with those people if you can. So 100%, agree with, Arnie's sentiment and then Brad kind of stating what he was suggesting. But I wanted to, give you my own 2 cents on the topic. I think it's a fun one to discuss. And I know a lot of people feel that, depending on what community or what platform you're on, people are really focused on, like, they get upset that people go to the Walmart or Target and they're flipping stuff. Or, hey, I can find on VCP what you paid for this. So I can't believe you're asking this much for it. You should take less. You're making a bunch of money. First of all, you never know where someone sleeps. You never know where they go to the bathroom. You never know where they're eating their meal. And you never know what rent or mortgage they're looking to pay. So I would tell you, for me personally, I'm absolutely fucking emotional about cards, if you cannot tell already. I love them. I eat it. I sleep it. I shit it, right? But here's the deal. I'm very, very, and I don't talk like this usually. I don't consider myself to be arrogant or this blunt usually, but I want to call it the way I see it. Mm-hmm. I'm very good at dealing with people and buying from folks, whether it be they know a ton, whether it be they know very little, or whether it be they know something in the middle. There's just something I've developed with a process that I make people feel comfortable, and I'm never trying to get that last dollar. I would sooner just pass and say, I can't buy your collection because I'm not able to pay more, and give them 3 suggestions about what they could do to sell it to maybe get the money they're looking for.
Right.
Or to be fair, let them know, I think it's unrealistic. You're not going to sell it for that. But what I wanted to cover was this to start. And I think if you think about it from this standpoint, and then you're going to see how I'm going to draw the analogy to collectors, it's kind of fun, right? So let's talk about high school, Lou. Yep. I don't want to say exactly when you graduated or when I graduated or when someone else graduated, but I kind of feel like whenever you went to high school, there was jocks, right?
Right.
There were the freaks, the geeks, the metalheads, the nerds. And I'm not saying any of this stuff in a bad way. We were just all different people, but there was a lot of labels. And so I think what's going on right now in the collecting, specifically the card hobby, there's a lot of labeling going on. You're a hoarder. You're not easy to work with. You're private. You're a bragger. You share a lot. And like some of these are negative, some of them are positive. But I think just like in high school, I didn't know shit in high school. I don't think I know much today, but I definitely know a lot more about myself as an individual, about being a confident person, how to love myself, and how to be mentally healthy, certainly than I did as an 18 and 20-year-old, right? I guess that was college, a little bit before in high school. But what I'm getting to is, like, you shouldn't hate because someone's a fucking hoarder. You shouldn't hate because someone doesn't necessarily give you those eBay fees off. Just recognize that they may not be for you. And they may not be for you to deal with in your circle. But guess what? And I'm just telling you the truth. You think I give a shit if someone that I hate has a card that I really want for my collection? Unless I principally won't do business with them, that's different. But if I dislike someone or I think that, who the hell knows what the reason would be? I really don't care because I enjoy collecting.
Right.
And so my point is, if you have a group of 7 people you deal with, that every single time you deal with them, you generally can sell something. You can generally buy something from them. I might offer my stuff to them first. And so I hope, for example, you've seen that when folks offer legitimate graded cards in our Vintage Breaks Buy Sell Trade group, and hopefully soon in our Vintage Breaks Buy Sell Trade forum on our website, then you're going to be able to trade just a little bit more easily, Lou, and not have to worry about like having some agita from the different communities. But all I'm suggesting is it takes all those different communities for the world to go around.
Right.
And so just understand, like, what's your place? And for whatever it's worth, Eddie, I'm a dealer, right? And I've bought and sold about $30 million of cards, which is pretty amazing in my lifetime. I don't tell people in an email that I'm a dealer, and use that as a reason why I'm going to pay less.
Yeah.
I just give them facts. It doesn't mean that my way is the right way, Lou, but it allows me to feel very comfortable that when I talk to people, that I can feel confident that I'm giving them great information, that no matter what happens, they're going to be better off than before they started with me, Lou.
Why do any of these factors come into play? I mean, this is transactional. This is capitalism. There is a price. You pay the price if you think it's worth it to you. You don't pay the price if you're not. What the person's background is, how many of that particular card they have, the way they conduct their business, what difference does it make?
Well, I mean, I agree with you, but I definitely think just like in high school, Lou, sometimes people don't think straight.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. So to kind of get back to Eddie's point, hey, for me personally, and I'm going to tell you something that just happened to me, and I'm not going to name, the individual or where it happened, what happened. It's not exactly, but I want to explain, hey, this is how I would deal with it. So if I was selling in groups on Facebook, and I had a little good rapport, and that's kind of like my little shtick. And I mean, I just did it as a collector. Maybe I set up some card shows sometimes, or whatever the case is. But like, I'm not doing this full time. Like, I do this full time. I've been doing this full time for, I don't even know, too long. I feel very old, but I've been doing it for a long time, full time. But yet, I don't treat someone. This is my point. I don't treat Eddie different because he doesn't do this full time,
right?
Or that because he's a super collector, or because he's a part-time dealer. Frankly, and I mean this in the nicest of ways, I don't give a shit.
Right.
Why do I walk around with a little notebook to judge people? So that's to me why I'm a very happy-go-lucky collector, why I'm a happy-go-lucky dealer / businessman. I do it to the best of my ability. I know I'm not going to get every deal. I'm not going to lie. There's some deals that have like crushed my soul. I wanted them so badly, but I would be lying. It wasn't necessarily just for the money. It was more for, like, fuck, if I would have found that Cobb deal, the Lucky 7,
right?
Crosby's, growing up, and then 16 years old, he's Googling, and holy shit, Dad's name's there. Doesn't mean that Dad's a better dad because of that. And, that's probably my own, stuff that's going on up here. But that's what I'm saying. So kind of getting back to what I saw. So this gentleman had some graded cards that I wanted to buy. Nothing super high grade, right? I just wanted to candidly probably repackage them in a hit random or give them away in a freebie, a bonus. Didn't really even matter. Difficult to deal with.
Yep.
Posts in multiple forums, meaning platforms.
Yep.
One time he got back to me, it was, these cards are left. Another time he got back to me, only a few other cards are left. I never really got a straight answer. And by the way, was never mad at him, was never really like frustrated, just realized, hey, for me and what I need to do, not going to work like long-term, I really can't do that.
Right.
But that's the best that I would share with everyone else out there. Like, don't get flustered. Certainly ask, and I appreciate that Eddie put this in there because it allowed to have this whole conversation today.
Yep. This is a life lesson as well. You've got to try to drop the static. You've got to get away from things that are irrelevant, things that are triggering you, things that are making you upset. And you got to keep your eye on the prize. In trading a card of any collection, it's the card and the value of it to you. That's all that matters. Really,
yeah, absolutely. So I just saw Harry. I appreciate it, Harry. So Harry was saying the reason the big consigners on the Bay have done so well, the Big Advance will be a card sales platform that is trusted and has lower fees. Totally agree with you. Guys, selling your cards, unless you're doing it, right? If I text Harry later, if I message someone in our Vintage Breaks buy-sell trade group, like Cuff Daddy or Nick Mariachi, and they're like, Leighton, would you do a little better? I mean, guys, come on. I'm a softie. I'm going to be very easy to deal with. And to be honest, the other way, when I'm buying stuff, I might ask like, hey, is this your best price for the 19 cards I'm interested in? I don't work you down for each individual card. But once again, folks, I do this professionally. I have a very simple rule. I do not like to shit where I eat.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste very good. And I really like to do what I love. And so, for example, and I know that you guys are going to, get to take advantage of this. So I figured today, you know what? Let me pay it forward a little bit. I have a really nice T206 from a collection that we bought long ago. I never did anything with it because it's a cubby. It's got great eye appeal. It's got a little corner, situation there. But it's a beautiful card. What's it worth? $50 to $100. Here's the thing, Lou. I'm thankful today. I don't need $50 to $100, and I figured that someone's going to enjoy T206. So, in honor of the Loft and all the good vibes for the hobby, what I think we should do is I'd like everyone who does not have a T206, who's tuned into the show today. It's going to take a little effort on your part. I want you to email sam@vintagebreaks.com, and either later today or tomorrow, we're going to get you all on the list. And obviously, it's the honor system. So if you have a T206 in your collection, you might say late, like, well, what are you going to do about those folks that have one if they're double dipping? Here's the thing. I really believe this in life. Yeah. If you do not do the right thing, it will eventually come back to you. So maybe you're going to get in this entry for this T206 and you already got one. I'm certainly not worried. But my point is I was trying to show some hobby love, and I picked this out myself with love. And I mean that sincerely. It's a gorgeous T206. You're going to email me.
You can put it on the desktop here.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Great. Let me move my pad here.
There we go.
Look at that. So other than that little corner issue, can you believe those corners?
Nice.
So the card on 3 of the 4 corners looks near mint. The thing's amazing in person. Orville overall from Chicago. It's got the overprint back, the slightly tougher factory 42. I thought this is an amazing type card to give away. Jim Ector definitely does not qualify. I know about your Bob Tolstoy. Don't bullshit me, Jim. Anyway, shout out to Karma Records. So, folks, if you do not have a T206 in your collection, speaking of good karma, right? Karma Records. Right. Please email either Dougie or Sam at vintagebreaks.com. Either one will be fine. We'll get a list together over the next 24 hours. We're going to do it live, and we're going to give away Mr. O Squared, Orville overall.
Nice.
That was a cool idea, Lou, right?
Yep. You have other factors, though, when you're dealing, you talk about dealing with people, being professional and being in it. You don't want to make a killing deal because you've lost the customer. That's a one-time sale, right?
Oh, listen, 100%. There's definitely, Lou, an art and a science to buying collections. I don't care if it's from someone who knows and they're a savvy collector in the PSA set registry, all the way to that wonderful family that inherited those T206s, all those polar bear backs that we recently acquired. That story will be on our blog very soon at justcollect.com/blog. And so, Lou, you can imagine, right? It doesn't take a genius to realize that, like, my name personally and Just Collect are all over the internet.
Right.
So if we were sandbagging people, it would be pretty obvious. So
and I'm guessing the family you talked about that last collection, we talked about the buy last week, and they were very savvy and talked to J5, and they did a lot of work into this. You don't think they called and asked around about you? And
they
other people? Of course
they definitely did.
Yeah,
they definitely did. So anyway, folks, I don't want to have much delay here with Tim Carrol. Hopefully he's ready to join us, and see if we can get him on.
Let's get Tim in. How we doing, Tim, today? What's going on?
Great.
Hey, Lou. How you doing, Lou? Leighton, good to see you.
Hey, Tim. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right. We got a pretty good delay today we're working with, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think it may be on my end. We've got storms rolling through the area right now. Of course, we haven't had rain in a week and a half, 2 weeks, and now all of a sudden it wants to pour.
Yep. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. What do they say? The best laid plans?
Absolutely.
So, Tim, why don't you take a moment to introduce yourself and plug your website, and then we'll kind of get right into it.
Okay. Well, I'm Tim Carrol, and my website is www.timcarrolart.com. Carrol spelled with 2 R's and 2 L's. And about a little more than a decade ago, I decided to make a harness Wagner out of some cut baseball cards, and I've been doing it ever since.
Tim, what made you, starting with the Wagner, what made you decide to do it? Meaning, were you an artist growing up? Is this just something you picked up as a side project? Please share a little bit more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was younger, I grew up back in North Mississippi, and we didn't have a lot of money for oils or acrylics or different kinds of paints and brushes, other kinds of materials like that. So I was always trying to create things from just found objects. So I guess everything kind of goes back to that. But I love to draw, and as we didn't have any kind of formal training going through school. I say formal training. We didn't have any kind of art classes at all. There was no funding in our school districts for that. So my senior year of high school, we had a local junior college professor come down and volunteer his time to spend with us to try to see if there was any talent in the school to maybe, bolster the program at the junior college, and getting an art scholarship for the didn't work out too well for me because of things in life that was happening at the time. So I had to put school on pause and join the workforce. And fast forward to about 2009, my wife and I was on a trip to New Orleans. She was finishing a doctorate in education, and she was presenting at a science conference. And while we were there, we decided to take a stroll through the French Quarter. Decatur Street, I think is the name of it. But there was a lot of art galleries and different types of art, whether it be voodoo art, folk art. There were body paintings, just some wild stuff, and it got my wheels turning. And on the way back to the hotel room, picked up a magazine and saw that there was a little blurb talking about the 100th anniversary of the Wagner. And so I looked over at my wife and I said, wouldn't it be cool if I could trade all those common cards in the bottom of the closet for T206 Wagner? And she said, well, why don't you give it a shot? And I said, it doesn't really work like that. It's more quality than it is, quantity.
No, we're having some storm issues there with Tim Carrol.
Yeah, it's raining here where I'm from. I have the window open, but I don't think it's quite as bad from where Tim's at.
Yeah, we'll come back in a second. I can't wait to ask him the question you asked about how we what are the rules regarding putting these things together.
Oh, I can't wait.
In terms of cards.
We'll have to be patient. Hopefully Tim will be able to be back in just a second.
No. Come on, we got back home to Mississippi. All
right. He cut out there, so we'll wait for him to come back a little bit. These are great pieces of art. I think it's interesting that he only does the project one time, though.
Oh, I love it. I think that makes it even more of it, meaning if you love it, just because you realize, there's who knows about the market, right? There's only one, but that's what's beautiful about it. The eyes in the beauty of the beholder right there.
But he's turning down a lot of business because once you see these pieces, people are going to say, oh, I want one of those, or I want them.
Yeah, well, he has a waiting list. So, if we called him, if we decide on the show today live, we want to do one. Yeah, we'll have to ask him. It's one of the questions I would have. Hey, we decided, tomorrow we want to do one. Like, what's the waiting list like?
No, but he won't go back and do a piece a second time, right?
Nope, not at the moment.
That's such a shame.
I know, but it makes it even cooler.
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah, I don't know if I could be turning that kind of money because you put a nice Honus Wagner out. How many people have asked for a Wagner, do you think, since?
Well, I was going to say, I wanted to ask him. I guess we'll have to conduct our virtual interview of him for a moment. So I wanted to ask, who's his most requested? What piece is the most requested, that he turns down and people are just like broken, heartbroken.
Yeah, and I wonder how he picks what the subjects are going to be.
Also, I figured, right, it's not a government agency. Is he open to bribes? So in other words, if he has a waiting list, right, some gazillionaire comes along and he's like, I want 2 of these. And, well, sir, it's an 18-month thing. Here's the thing. Here's like an extra 500. And by the way, his art is, thousands of dollars. So I don't want to be insulting. But, I'm curious if he's open to bribes, like all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, Doug, we asked earlier in the show, we were talking about this earlier in the show, if we could get a Tim Carrol to do that artwork of J5 there with the.
We're gonna have to.
WWE.
That's going to cost a bunch of money. That looks like a lot of detail. Plus, he would say that mustache alone is probably a killer.
There you go. Right, and how would you capture that hair? It's just such a challenge.
It really is. Yeah, Gilmore, good idea. I wonder if we can get the 55 Bowman mantle done as kind of like the vintage breaks piece, seeing as how we pulled that live at the National. Great idea.
Yeah, but what would you do with it? You just hang it in the office?
I mean, honestly, I would secretly take it out at night and bring it to my home. I mean, I really want one. It's just a matter of, which one I'm going to buy. And I was going to ask Tim once again. I'm trying to, I don't know if Tim will be able to join us back here either soon, or if not, we'll definitely have him on a future episode. Sounds like having some weather issues there. My question is, has he seen the secondary market yet for his work?
Oh, that's interesting too.
Right? If there's only one, Lou, well, what if it becomes available? Like, do you have a wait list of people you call? Are you a broker? I mean, man, Jesus Christ, I got a lot of questions for him.
Yeah, but where's his cut in that? I mean, I understand the idea of having a one of one and increasing the value of it, but
no, I just think I think he likes to create his work, and I think he likes creating value for folks and creating great work. And so I would think if he was out of work to do, then maybe that might be something that he would consider, but we'll have to ask him.
Who's buying the, by the way, who's buying the Garbage Pail Kids?
Oh, I would have bought that. If that was for sale, I would have bought that.
You would not have.
Absolutely. I mean, my wife probably think I'm not well or something.
Yeah. Where are you going to take that?
That definitely has to go in the loft. I won't even try to pull that shit off in my house, Lou.
Or in Crosby's room.
I don't think she'd put that in Crosby's room.
All right, Tim's back. Let's see how we're doing.
Great.
Hi, Tim. How are you?
Hey, Tim.
All right, I'm back. Hopefully for good.
Oh, great. Well, we can hear you much better.
Yeah. All right. Good. I've changed rooms in the house to try to get some better service. So
okay, great. We've got tons of questions.
Yeah, like we were asking a lot of questions while you weren't here, just so we were warmed up.
Yeah. Okay. I have no idea where I got to before it all cut out.
That's all right. Well, we're going to fire away here.
I think go for it, man. Go for it.
So tell us some of the basic rules. So, like, for example, I've shared with Lou, one of the rules I think I know, please correct me if I'm wrong, is the cards are made out of cut baseball cards, right? And you only do one of that particular. So, like the 56 Jackie, the Tiger Woods you have behind you, you won't do another.
Correct.
All right. So tell us the rationale behind not doing another.
Wait a second. To borrow a basketball phrase, if Leighton drives up the Brinks truck and says, "I want that Garbage Pail Kid,"
I do want the Atom Bomb.
Garbage Pail card done for me. Atom Bomb.
It's hanging in the studio out here. He's welcome. It's still available. I heard you, Leighton. I heard you say.
Oh, Atom Bomb's available.
I have.
Oh, that's fantastic. I hope I have some cards you want. We'll definitely do a deal. This is fantastic.
That's it. I wasn't expecting to make a sale, but let's go.
Oh, listen, we're going to talk about it at the end of the show. Absolutely. I didn't realize that. Awesome. So anyway, so get back to center for a second. So tell us, is that really your rule? You only make one of them?
That's correct. Yep.
No matter what, the Brinks truck doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. I've had some guys ask for specific cards the second time, and they've really offered to substantially like put some money out there, and it's just not
right. Let's call it bribe, if you will.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it comes down to one. I've promised the people that I've done them for that I'm only going to do it one time. You're only as good as your word. I mean, this is online, dealing. So whenever you put that out there, it sticks. It's done. It's in Sharpie. And the second thing is, these things take so long to make, and I sit and stare at the same image for 100 to 150 hours. I don't want to look at the damn thing anymore. Right, I'm done. I'm done.
All right. So this begs the question for me, because I'm fascinated by this. You didn't do the Garbage Pail Kid one as a commission, obviously. Correct. Still hanging in your studio. What was the inspiration?
Oh,
what was the moment that said, "I've got to do this"?
Kid of the 80s. I'm a pop culture nut. That's Nintendo, Mike Tyson, yeah, exactly. Being a kid of the 80s, the video games, the Garbage Pail Kids, the big hair, grunge of the early 90s, whatever. That's what I grew up with. So
now it's the Garbage Pail Kids 35th anniversary,
right,
this year. So would you say, Tim, in your estimation, that Atom Bomb is the definitive first series Garbage Pail Kid you want to have? Yeah,
it just because it's on the cover, the product's on the packaging.
Yeah,
it's the first thing you saw. It's what lured you in.
Oh, I'm lured in already. I'll be honest with you. I'm doing a terrible job negotiating. In terms of helping me get a better price. No, I hate it. I really hate it. I can't have it. But I'm going to buy it as a gift for someone, Tim. Let's see what we can do.
All right.
So tell us a little bit, because I know one of the questions we have, and I know Lou's fascinated as well, along with our audience. When you, for example, the 56 Jackie that's behind Lou, Do you cut up, for example, baseball cards? Does it have to be that sport, or does it have to be that particular, like 56 tops do you cut up?
No, that's not happening. I'm not gonna. Yeah, no. You know, I like to keep it with the junk era commons, with the stuff that's overproduced.
So that's what you do.
I have moved into some modern commons, especially with the top set, something that's readily available. But no, I don't like cutting anything that somebody else might really want, or even as beater cards, and some cutting vintage up like that. That's blasphemy. I can't do that.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I do stick with the sport: baseball for baseball, golf for the Tiger Woods behind me.
You do that, okay?
Right. Now the Garbage Pail Kids, I'm not going to be cutting up Garbage Pail Kids stickers, so
Sure.
I just use baseball cards for that. It was one of those things where, back in elementary school, I remember trading baseball cards, football cards, trading some Joe Montana cards for some Garbage Pail Kids. So I just use baseball cards for those.
Okay, so when you get a piece and you're going to do a piece, first of all, on average, I know it's going to vary. On average, how many cards does it take to make one of these pieces?
Usually about, I would say, 12 to 1,600 cards.
And where do you get these 12 to 1,600 cards?
I started out with just the ones I had in my closet, but then as time went on and people started seeing what I was doing, I started getting, offers of, hey, we have all of these cards we don't need. I had postal boxes out, in my garage that had not even been gone through for a while. And I finally was able to get them sorted out. Over time, I've had to cut off donations. I'm sitting on about 450 to 475,000 commons.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it's junk. So there's nothing in it.
Tim, out of curiosity, have you ever tried to create another type of collectible other than cards? But like with this cutout process, process.
Yeah. So I've made, like, once I did the first card, the Wagner, I started thinking I can do, I'm originally from Tupelo, Mississippi. That was where I was born. And of course that's the home of Elvis Presley. So
that's right.
Everything's Elvis. I created Elvis out of broken records. I've created Jimi Hendrix out of guitar picks.
Oh my God.
Cool.
Ted Williams out of 1,941 toothpicks. Exactly. That was at the Ted Williams Museum, Hitters Hall of Fame down in St. Petersburg. But yeah, I've used Shoeless Joe Jackson out of socks, black socks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
I love this.
The Jimi Hendrix out of picks. There must be a vast market in musicians out of picks, guitar players out of picks. You could do that forever, couldn't you?
Yeah, well, it's the same with these cards right here. I mean, you take a 56 tops common card and it's so pretty. It looks good on the wall. It doesn't even matter who it is. I could pick out 3 or 4 sets and just work those for the rest of my life. And I feel like I had a complete body of work. Absolutely.
So speaking of your work, Tim, what is your waiting list like? So in other words, someone decides that they want to commission something you haven't done. They're lucky enough that you haven't done it yet. What are we looking at in terms of a wait list for you and your service?
Just over 2 years right now. Yeah.
OMG. God bless you.
Yeah, I am blessed. I am fortunate. Whenever COVID started, the first thing in my head was I better start looking around to see, what I'm going to do when all of my list runs out. I didn't anticipate, as most of the hobby didn't anticipate the explosion that happened in the last 7 months, 8 months.
Oh,
it's been ridiculous, but it's come on over into the art as well. And
Great.
people that I've talked to over the years, that were considering pieces have pulled the trigger on it. I guess just, having the extra funds freed up it's been complete opposite of what I thought, which is, like I said, it's definitely a weight off my shoulders.
That's amazing. Well, God bless. If you can give our audience an idea of, let's say, what the least complicated piece takes you in terms of time, and then what, like, the longest piece ever took you in terms of hours.
Okay, so the easiest piece to work is definitely going to be a portrait with a solid background, simple border. Think Topps Living or 1953 Topps something
Sure.
like that, especially the ones that were paintings from the beginning. I guess you could say,
Sure.
not created from an actual photograph, but from a painting on a card. Those take the least amount of time, and I would say 65 to 80 hours, depending, on what kind of detail is with the eyes, the mouth. If the player's smiling or closed mouth, that matters the time. And then the piece that took the longest, without a doubt, was the Norman Rockwell umpires piece. Game called
that was
for the rain.
amazing.
Yeah, that was several hundred hours,
Oh my God.
and it was that was painstaking. But that is probably my favorite piece that I've done.
Oh, I've seen that. Now, is that in a private collection?
Yeah, it had no intention of that being in a private collection, but it was one of those that I had
Beautiful.
I had a gentleman, asked for a price, and I gave him a price, and he made a counter offer that I just couldn't refuse. So
That's unbelievable. So, 2-year waiting list, a bunch are already done. So the fact that it takes now a few years, if you even have the funds available and you haven't done the piece, it begs the question, next, is there or has there been a secondary market for your pieces yet? Has anyone relinquished ownership of your pieces? And if so, can you give us an example of a couple of them, and were they sold privately or publicly at auction?
All privately. The Wayne Gretzky rookie card has changed hands twice, and I think every person that bought it, sold it, has been happy each time. The 53 Topps mantle, the 34 Gaudy Lou Gehrig, those two sold recently, and the original owner, he purchased them from me. He commissioned them from me several years ago. So he got in really early before everything kind of took off, and he reaped the rewards of putting it on the secondary market.
And when you say put it on the secondary
Logan's
market,
offering you dinner, Tim, so you got to get back to Memphis. Okay, can I
that's
get
great.
dinner, Logan?
What's up, Logan?
What's going on, Logan? So, Tim, when someone wants to sell one of your pieces, do they just contact you first?
It's actually been the buyers. I mean, with the mantle and the Gehrig, the owner of that contacted me and told me he was looking to put them up for sale, and so I kind of facilitated that. I went, onto my page and said, hey, here's an opportunity to get one that's already made. If you don't want to wait, it's also something that I only do once. So
sure,
here you go. If you want it, here's your chance. And the messages came in, and of course I put the buyer in touch with the seller. With the Gretzky, each time I actually was contacted by the prospective buyer each time first to want to know, is this true? Do you do these only once? Is this yours? Did you make this? And
that's awesome.
Verified it, and it's kind of like giving a little provenance. It kind of gave me the big head for a second, but no, really.
And Tim, you're thinking, who the hell would do this, right? Of course, it's mine.
So amazing.
It's been incredible. I've gotten probably 25 or 30 different messages over the years of people that are inspired by it and trying their hand at it. And I'm a former teacher, so you aim to inspire. And so if this is something, this is what my legacy is going to be. After I'm gone, other people pick up and run, take the torch with it. Hey, it's great. There's plenty of commons out there.
Yeah, no, that's a wonderful way to look at it. So I'm going to get a little personal for a second in terms of what I'm interested in. So putting the atom bomb aside, just rattling off a few, I'm curious if they've already been done. So in basketball, I already know the 86 Fleer Michael was done. Mm-hmm. And I know I actually contacted you, I think through Facebook Messenger, within the last few years about the 84 star Michael Jordan. And I think you started that project like not that long, either before or after I contacted you. Had basically said, hey, it was already committed to, and if I'm not mistaken, that's true, right?
That the 84 star Jordan, I have not worked it, but it just the time that it's going to take to work that background. a piece, going back to what we were talking about earlier about the easiest pieces and the most difficult,
Sure.
the easiest being the portraits, the most difficult being the full body with fans in the stands. The smaller the face, the harder it is. So you're having to use an X-Acto knife under magnification, and once you start talking about those fans, you're talking about every single fan's face.
So that
either
being
very,
very difficult. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You're talking about buying months of time.
So like the magic bird rookie is going to be impossible.
Not impossible, but it's not going to be cheap because
it's going to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the Dr. J rookie would probably be a little bit better.
Absolutely. And I'm actually
I'm
about 60% done with that one. So
someone already commissioned you for it?
No. I just love the card myself. So
you're killing me.
Yeah.
So literally, it's like your taste is the same. You're doing atom bomb. You have a doc. What are you trying to put me on the street? No,
man. Well, I mean, you're picking popular pieces, and I've done almost 200 of these over the years. So it's like I'm having to find. There's still several great cards out there, but I'm having to get to the. I'm past the 52 Topps Mantles and the Wagners and the the Jordans and Gretzky's. Now I'm moving into the other stuff. So
sure. So tell us about 06s. Are all 4 Cobbs done?
No,
or just the red and green.
I haven't worked the green background yet, and I haven't worked the bat on yet. I've worked the bat off, and I've worked the red in front. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
It was really fun to do.
How about 33 Gaudy? Did you do any of the 4 Ruths?
I've done the green. I forgot the number.
144.
I think that's correct. Yeah, the green background.
Oh my goodness, this is just so. There's like a number that you haven't done that I absolutely would love. Yeah, that's very. Tim, you might be one of the most challenging guests I've ever had.
That's okay.
You go broke by the end of the episode.
Good.
What size are these pieces, Tim?
So for the standard size, the modern era cards, they're around 20 by 28, which is about 8 times magnification of a regular standard card. The tobacco cards run around 16 and a half inches by 29. Something like the 3 umpires piece, the Rockwell, it was a lot larger. It was, I was 3 feet tall, something like that.
Wow.
And that's about the size of the tiger back here behind me also.
And you don't have to open the curtain up too much, but I'm curious about the process. I see you have some cards colored there, and yet you leave the text on them in a contrasting color. Those types of things. How does this come together? Do you cut the pieces first and then color, or and again,
I don't color at all. Those
are pieces. Oh, okay. You pull pieces those
straight out of the cards. Yeah. The only time my pen or marker touches the piece is when I sign it in the bottom corner. That's it.
That's amazing.
It's
unbelievable. Wow. That is
really amazing work. So with the last few minutes here, Tim, have you ever the atom bomb piece, for example, how much are you trying to sell it for if you were going to put it up for sale? And I might know someone who's interested. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. So, the asking price on something like that is around $6,400.
I'm glad you said that instead of 64,000.
Yeah, I was wondering where the zeros were going to land on that.
64,000. I would be doing a lot less work in a calendar year.
Fair enough. Well, even 6,400 seems very reasonable for something as iconic as the Garbage Pail Kids. Basically, the most desirable and most well-known card.
Right. Jules isn't watching, right?
I'm hoping not. And it's funny. I'm actually going to quit while I'm ahead. I'm going to choose to message you, Tim, and not embarrass myself on air and try to talk about your amazing artwork in a personal way as to how I can get it into my home.
Absolutely.
Because I would pay good money for Jules to barge into the loft right now.
Oh yeah, like there's no nothing. Oh my God, you're right. That would be great timing. So out of all of your work, instead of maybe nailing down your top piece, why don't you give us your top 3 favorites?
That's hard because I've spent so much time with every one of them. Obviously, as far as just the pieces that I've done sports related, and I love the piece I did of my son, and I'd love to get back to having the time to do my other children as well. I'm sure he feels incredibly special that his got work before the others. But I'm ready to get back to doing those for my other kids. But I guess definitely the Rockwell piece is right there at number one. I don't know that I can actually even. I mean, I'm a Willie Mays guy, so the 52 tops Mays. I
Sure.
love that piece. I'm really happy with the 56 Jackie Robinson back there also. I mean, I
So am
love the
I.
way
Whatever
that
comes
one
up
turned
for
out.
sale, please let me know. But now my wish list is like a half dozen long.
Right.
So let me
But
ask
every
you- let me
one
ask-
of them has something. Every single piece has something in it that I love. Like that Bob Gibson that you have pulled up right there. Pink on a baseball card is awesome, and just the color scheme within the card itself. I've said it before. Tops with those mid to late 50s cards, they kind of set it up on a tee for me because they look so good hanging on a wall.
No, they really do. So one of the things that I wanted to know, kind of along those lines, forget about choosing a top or a favorite. And this may sound a little bit corny, but did you ever get done with a piece and you felt so emotionally attached to it, you were so proud of it when you were done, that you literally took a step back and it brought a tear to your eye because you're like, holy shit, I cannot believe I did this?
Yep.
I guess,
found them.
yeah. That was actually what I really wanted to know.
Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. I don't think that actually working a piece has done that, but having just the reaction has really been. I've seen some really emotional reactions. One in particular, the Mookie Wilson that you were talking about earlier, the 87 tops Mookie. Yep. So that piece was commissioned by a couple whose son loved the 86 Mets. And they ended up driving down from either the northern part of North Carolina or the southern part of Virginia down to my house in Conway, South Carolina, after it was completed. And they brought their son on a road trip without telling him where they were going. And they let me know where they were at the entire way. And when they pulled up, I opened up the studio and they walked in, and he knew exactly where he was at. He had already told them about my work. So he just thought he was coming on a road trip to meet me. He had no idea that they had a present already made for him. Amazing. And so, I pulled off the sheet of it and let him know that was his and that his parents had ordered that, over a year ago. And the tears were flowing. Yeah, it was spectacular, seeing them just come together like that and over something that I had done. I'll never forget it.
That's got to make you super proud and feel amazing.
Absolutely. That's what it's about. I mean, all these cards they kind of, evoke memories, and this takes him back to his childhood, and it's something that hangs on his wall and that he can be proud of, and that, not just proud of the work, but mainly proud of the gesture itself, that what his parents, they thought enough of him to have that done. So
I got to ask you about this one, Tim. Not a card, which I find interesting. And was this a commission, or how did this come?
It was. Yeah, that was a commission. A guy that is huge Pat's Brady fan. He ordered that one and got that worked out for him. So yeah, out of football cards.
Nice, beautiful,
amazing work, Tim. I'm really speechless. On top of me gushing as to the items I'd like to acquire myself, I really am just, to hear your story about the Mookie Wilson, to see that 56 Jackie behind Lou. And I remember, I don't know when you put your Koufax into the hall, but I think I was there when it was in there. Your 55 Koufax was probably displayed in the Hall of Fame for a bit, right? If not, it's still there. Whenever I received an email back last January asking, they told me that the Shoebox Treasures exhibit was opening up, and it's the permanent display, in the hall. And they had decided to do an art wall and wanted that to be a centerpiece in the art wall. So I was floored. I mean, that's I can't even, I could not bring it out into words. I was never talented enough on the field to ever have the opportunity to play, past high school. So getting something
something in the Baseball Hall of Fame. It was a pipe dream. It was not even something that had been dreamed of. And to create that, and that's the one they chose. They knew that I had several pieces, and that was the one that they wanted. So I couldn't send it to them fast enough. And then last May, whenever the exhibit opened up, it was on the wall, and I've gotten to see people, taking their selfies with it. And COVID hit, so I haven't had a chance to get there myself to see it, but I can't wait to get on the road and get up there.
You're in the hall, Tim. You're in the hall.
Unbelievable story, Tim. Amazing work, and we sincerely appreciate you joining us on Leighton's Loft today and our Vintage Breaks community. And it was a blast.
Thank you, guys. I love what you guys do as well. So,
thanks. I appreciate it, Tim. Check out all of Tim's work and his story at timcarrolart.com.
Right. Excellent. Thank you, Tim, so much.
Thanks, Lou. Thanks, Leighton.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Hopefully we'll see you back on here real soon. Maybe we'll talk about the transaction that we're hopefully going to do by the time the holidays are over.
That sounds great. Maybe to have it hanging right over your shoulder there.
Oh, my God. That's just the background of my show. I already envisioned the whole thing, baby. I'm ready. Thanks so much, Tim. This was awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim. All right. That was unbelievable.
What a show today. Wow. And I'll tell you, Lou, I mean, I don't know how the first half hour of the show was perceived today, but when I was getting into the whole, discussion of the different platforms and stuff, I mean, you could tell I was very passionate about it. So between that to kind of shift gears and to having Tim on and like to sit back and really, I was kind of missing like an alcoholic beverage of some kind. Lou, I'll have to ask for advice for the future.
Well, we're over 21 now, so we can have some.
That's what I mean. We're 21, baby. This is our 21st episode of Leighton's Loft. Couldn't have done it not just without, of course, Lou, the rest of the gang at Vintage Breaks in the main office, and then without the Breaking Maniacs. And I know some fellow Just Collect folks are also tuning in.
You want to do the giveaways?
Yeah, I wanted to take care of the 7 prizes. Let's randomize the list. It's 4 times on the randomizer. And we just need the names, Dougie.
Let's bring Dougie in.
What's going on?
Mike's Hut.
What's up, D-Fresh?
What's up? That was amazing.
Hey, Jim. What's up, Ken?
All right. You said
Jeff,
how many?
Donald,
What was the
DJ,
dice roll?
Danny, Bri. What's up, Dougie?
How many times for the dice?
4.
4 times. Okay.
4.
All right. Here we go. All right. That is 1. That is 2.
$100 break credit to first place. All you had to do was watch and make a comment. Who's better than us?
That
we
is
turned 21.
3.
We're celebrating today.
Yeah, I heard you 2 turn 21 on Monday.
Oh, wow.
And
We should go out
4.
together.
Yes. All right. Brian Wilson wins the $100 break
Brian
credit.
Wilson's on a heater.
Rick Lucian, you get the BAM spot.
Nice.
Jason Rothman, you get the 56 top set break spot. Harry Cassup, you get the 79 tops hockey spot. Christopher Brown, you get the 74 tops baseball set. Kevin Jacobson and EJ Bognier also get 74 tops baseball set spots.
Excellent.
Well, let me say, folks, that was, man, every time we have a guest, Lou, and we move in a different direction, I'm like, there's just no more, it's not going to be another, like, really interesting, man, they just keep having a blast. This is great.
It's just bringing in different angles, different people, different experiences, coming at this whole hobby and life in general in different angles. It's just fun to talk to people, especially the group we have here. We always collect a great group.
It is great. So thanks for tuning in, everybody, today to Leighton's Loft podcast episode number 21. We are now legally able to drink. We're going to go out and celebrate right after this.
That's right.
Hope you'll be able to join us next week. And for those of you who are going to listen to our show afterwards and you enjoy the interviews or you enjoy the hobby talk or the card talk, well, the only way to win some of these prizes or any of the prizes is you have to tune in live. And that happens every week, 4:30 to 5:30 Eastern Time on Leighton's Loft Facebook page. Hopefully you can join us next week.
We'll see you next week.